So I just went to the eye doctor, and I hadn't been there in a couple of years, and I'm feeling pretty irritated. So, backstory. Several years ago, in 2013, I think, I was diagnosed with a condition called pseudotumor cerebri, or more commonly known now as idiopathic intracranial hypertension, or IIH. And this is basically a condition that causes you to have too much spinal fluid, which is a super weird thing. They don't know why it happens. They don't know the mechanism of it. They don't know if it's because you're producing too much spinal fluid or if it's because your body isn't getting rid of spinal fluid the way that it's supposed to. They don't know what causes it. They know that women tend to get it more than men, and women of a certain age tend to get it more, and that as women get older, a lot of times it kind of goes away. But there's no known cause and there's no known cure. So there's ineffective treatments that kind of work for some people. So when I first got diagnosed with this, I had to have a lumbar puncture, because that is basically one of the only ways to actually diagnose it, is to measure the pressure of your spinal fluid. Anyway, a lot of stuff happened. You can read about it in other blog posts that I've done. I was on diuretics for a while. It was painful and awful, and I slept a lot. And since then, I've become asymptomatic. So a lot of people that have this condition get debilitating headaches, and I never had that symptom. I had some pressure in the beginning, but my main symptom was visual problems. So I was having shadows around the edges of my vision and like spotty vision. And I did feel pressure in my head, but not like pain, just pressure. So I've been asymptomatic from this for 4 years, I think. And so I try to go to the eye doctor regularly to just make sure, they don't see big swelling in my optic nerves, because that's one of the things that was the main way that they diagnosed it in the first place. So I go to the doctor today, and they do the normal eye exams, and I'm feeling pretty good because I still have 20/20 vision, and I can see pretty well, and I do well on all the tests. And then the doctor takes pictures of my eyes, and he comes in, and he starts talking to me about what I'm doing about my health, meaning that I'm fat, and what am I doing about it? Okay, here's the thing. I feel like this is just another case of going to a doctor and them looking at me and thinking, oh, well, there's something wrong with you, so obviously that must be because you're fat. Like, there's no other reason that anything would be wrong with you. And if you were just skinnier, you would be better, and you would not be as sick. Here's the thing. Last time, when I first got diagnosed with this, and it was a more urgent situation because I was having symptoms, and there is the possibility of going blind long term if you don't do something about it, I was told to lose weight, because in some people, for some unknown reason, losing 6% of your body weight can help or cure this illness that nobody knows the cause of. So I went on this Ideal Protein diet, which is a meal replacement diet, and it was fucking miserable. I'll tell you that much. I did lose 6% of my body weight, and guess what? It did not change anything. It did not make the condition go away. I became asymptomatic. I later had another lumbar puncture. My pressure was just as high as it had ever been, but I was asymptomatic. It is possible that my pressure is just as high now as it was then, but there's really no way to know without them doing another lumbar puncture, which is serious, and the doctor doesn't want to order one unless there's some reason for concern. So, yes, it is possible that if I lost 6% of my body weight right now, that maybe it would help, but let's look at the evidence. That only helps some people some of the time, and when I did it before, it didn't do anything for me. So why is that the go-to? Why is that I'm sitting in a room, basically you're making me feel like this condition that nobody understands, you understand that it's happening because I'm fat, and that's what I need to do about it, is to be less fat. I cannot even articulate how frustrating it is to deal with the world in general that judges my very existence as an issue. Like, that's not helpful. That's not compassionate. That's not evidence-based. That's not anything. It's not anything. And frankly, my health is okay. It's not great. I could be healthier, but all of my blood tests are normal. I don't have diabetes. I don't have pre-diabetes. I don't have high cholesterol. I don't have any of those things. So why am I such a concern to everybody? I wish that I could make anybody in the entire world understand how hard it is for me to lose weight. I work 9 hours a day. I come home and I spend like 2 hours with my kids before they have to go to bed. And I help with chores. And I do volunteer work. And then I try to find some time for myself to nurture some part of myself that I'm passionate about. Could I spend an hour a day at some gym? I guess so, but I don't really have like a whole lot of money to spend on that. And when I've done that in the past, I haven't lost weight. The one time that I was successfully able to lose 50 pounds, I was restricting my calories on Weight Watchers, and I was doing 2 to 3 hours of walking 4 to 5 days a week. So what I'm saying is that's an excessive amount of exercise that was possible for me as a stay-at-home mom with a baby. But now, as somebody that works in a full-time job and has responsibilities, is not possible. So I just don't feel like I have the capacity for that right now. And I do not feel that being told that everything relies on some maybe thing that maybe would help is the only thing I need to know. My crime, apparently, is living while fat. So, I guess I'm sorry about that, world, but here I am.